Unusual things started, and you could seriously feel the energy from the walls. But it would represent every religion that we could think of.
So this is the crypt itself, the tomb that was found.
And if they missed one, who knows how many more are down there?
5.
5. Ooh, what? Just felt like there was something touching my lower back right here.
People would hear voices, they would hear things, and slowly but surely I began to think something's going on.
I heard that.
Say help?
Mm-hmm. Sounded like the F word. Do you like that box? It just maxed out, man. Dude. It just said my name. What? Are you one of the 6 people that is still buried underneath of the church?
Graveyard.
Graveyard? You are kidding me.
There's a portal for you if you open and let go.
This month marks 12 years since we started our paranormal quest. And we realized, in all that time, we'd never investigated a haunted church. Until now. Our friend Austin Maynard and the founder of the Underground Paranormal Network contacted us and told us about a church built on top of a 200-year-old cemetery that now operates as a very unique restaurant and brewery called Father John's. And apparently, it holds a shocking amount of spiritual and paranormal energy within its walls.
This church was built in 1895 and was a Methodist church for almost entirety. In the last part, it became a Baptist church. But eventually, they also moved out to another church out of town. So I purchased it. We just couldn't let it be torn down. We have huge churches in town that have already been destroyed and demolished, and this wasn't going to happen with this church. So I held on to it for 3 or 4 years, not knowing what I was going to do with it really, other than I began restoring it. And then I got a text from a dear friend that said, first do what's necessary, then do what's possible. Soon you'll be doing the impossible, St. Francis of Assisi. And I took that as a sign, and I was going to Nepal, one of my favorite countries. I changed my plans. I flew to Italy. I followed St. Francis' life around Italy, and I learned a lot from him. One was that he respected all religions. Some of the statues you'll see in bronze, you'll have every religion you can think of around him. So when I came back, I thought, how do we gather people together? And of course, the next thing happened. We decided we would make a restaurant, brewery, etc., and have a gathering place. But it would represent every religion that we could think of and would gather people in a sacred way. So that's how she kind of started. And I believe it brings a lot of people in here that love that sense of there's a unity, there's really a higher good. In Nepal, on the side of the mountain, I remember an elder looked at me, and for some reason we connected in a way, and I just sat and listened to him, and he said, John, know that there are many paths up the side of the mountain, but they all go to the top. And I'll never forget that.
But I've heard psychics tell me that it's like a culture war spiritually down here, or in this place really, because like it was Methodist Episcopal Church, and then now he's filled it with relics from all different religions. Just kind of makes a crazy concoction of energy.
How many times have you investigated here?
Oh shoot, like 10 or more times probably. It's pretty active.
But as John started to make renovations to the basement to transform it into a restaurant, he stumbled upon something that many people believe opened a doorway to the spirit world inside this church.
And I learned when we started to excavate that there was, in the mid-1800s, there was an old wooden Methodist church that stood here. And of course, in those times, the cemetery was around the church. So when that was lifted in early 1890s, and then this was built, stories were they weren't sure what was excavated, what was not. So that began to create a different controversy when this actually started.
During the process of creating a private dining room, something was found under the original brick floor. A casket. And when a section of that floor was removed, an old burial tomb, possibly over 200 years old, was opened.
So here's the crypt room.
It definitely has a different energy in here, that's for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, whoa.
You all right?
A little off balance there.
Yeah.
That's weird. So this is the crypt itself, the tomb that was found. Honestly, John doesn't like to talk about it. So, like, I've never really been able to get, like, a full story on how it was found.
I really don't like to say too much. I had a priest come here one day and he said, I really don't like that room. He said it feels a little desecrated to be there. And I only told him that I said, when I was in Italy, they had lots of places like that. So I kind of leave it at that, if you will. We've got pictures of people have sent us pictures of that area and outside as well, when you can see images of people on them.
Well, the most likely story to me, if I'm thinking logically about how that got there, most logically to me is the story of the cemetery being here, the story of them excavating and moving these bodies before they built the church, but then missing some. And if they missed one, who knows how many more are down there? 5.
There were 6 total that were unaccounted for. And that's 1. And so I think that if there's, if that is somebody's grave, they're probably not happy. Especially because, John being John, he decided to put a glass tile over top of it and then hang a cross-shaped table over top, and he rents this out for the restaurant as like the crypt room, he calls it.
Yeah.
And you can actually reserve this room to eat in. I know that the intentions are right. I think it's a matter of the perspective from people to see it that way instead of the other way.
And that's another thing you said with these motion lights here. He has this hallway motion
Yes.
activated lights, and
There's the sensor right there.
you said you've seen them turn on when no one's walked through.
Oh, they do it all the time. Yeah, I've been in here just a number of times. Like, I'll be sitting over in the restaurant, and I'll just hear the click. I'll come over here, the light's on. I mean, it happens. There's been times I've been sitting up here, and I see it. Because that's the front door area right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it is. You're right.
Unusual things started pretty much when I was by myself in the church. And you could seriously feel the energy from the walls, the thousands and thousands of prayers. Imagine 1895, that many thousands of people were hearing prayers. And people would hear voices, they would hear things. And I discounted most of it. Being a maxillofacial surgeon, I'm a little bit scientific, so I'm a little skeptical. And slowly but surely, I began to think something's going on.
John currently uses it for meditation sessions and different like chanting. And what's interesting is they say that scientifically, the chanting or the om that monks use, apparently that frequency is the frequency of the universe. By doing that, they're trying to connect with the universe on a spiritual level. So, I mean, what kind of energy does that add to this place, especially when you're talking about Christianity rather than Buddhism? I mean, I don't know. It's just that mixture, I think. Kind of stirs up the energy.
I had a dishwasher one night who left and didn't come back. I had a gentleman tell me that he saw someone in our bed and breakfast. A little girl was standing in front of the window. And again, I don't think so. And then a couple weeks later, another guest said, "Do you know there's a little girl up there?" Well, that was actually the parsonage. That's where the minister would live and his family. And as this church got larger and larger, they connected this church to that, and that was then the Sunday school. So then we changed it back to being a parsonage where people could stay there.
This is the Stone Goat Inn. Of course, definitely very interesting. Because, when you talk about goat heads, or goats, I mean, in Judaism, goats have some kind of sacred significance. But when you talk about Christianity, the goat head, the goat itself, is more of a representation of Satan. I just think it's interesting, right? But of course, like I said, John's intentions were Judaism.
Only 2 weeks ago, we had a gentleman that came here, and he called about midnight and said, I think I have to leave. And I said, well, what? He said, it's strange here. So I'm hearing things. So it's an interesting place to stay.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty creepy. It's still set up the exact same way. And this is actually where they said, where people often report a little girl, as well as a woman upstairs, an angry woman.
Does anybody know why the woman that's up here is angry? No idea?
No.
What type of experiences have people had with her in here?
Feelings of anxiety, need to get out of here. They've captured a woman yelling on recordings. There's been a few psychics actually that have told us that there's an angry woman up here. She's just pacing back and forth all the time. Now that I think about it, that might be where some of the footsteps being heard comes from.
Yeah.
When you are in the church by yourself, you can especially feel it. And when you are in certain areas of the church, you can feel it. I think if you open to that, you can find it. It's there for you. There's a portal for you if you open and let go of it. Absolutely.
Guys, we're getting set up here. The music box is going off. We just had it set up and Ryan ran upstairs to put a motion detector.
Okay, good. Do you like that box? Whoa, dude. Can you step away so that it'll turn off? Just step down the hallway for us, please. All right, so we are getting ready to leave Father John's heavenly devilish brewing company empty. This former Methodist church is now wired with cameras. We have 4 different cameras and 4 different areas of equipment set up. Right here in the parsonage, we have 2 motion sensors that are covering the downstairs and the upstairs. Right here, we have the paranormal music box set up. If anything moves in front of it, it's going to pick up on that temperature fluctuation, and then it's going to start playing music. But my favorite area so far has to be the crypt room, and we have an action cam in there set up with the REM pod, and that REM pod is set up directly on top of that open crypt, along with the ghost tube in there. So if anyone wants to communicate with us, if anyone wants to voice any concern or any disdain for what that room has become, or for the fact that their crypt is underneath of a structure, they can let us know. We also have a camera set up from the bar pointing down towards the cardinal room. That is a motion activated light, so if that light turns on, it could be paranormal, because it's been known to flip on when there's been no one in that hallway. And last but not least, we also have a camera in the sanctuary pointed towards the altar. We have the spirit seeker, the Mel meter, and the EDI plus meter in there. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be empty for about an hour. Hopefully it'll pick up on something while we're gone. You ready, Dave?
Yes, I am.
Let's do it.
Oh.
The f*** was that?
We're leaving!
Don't leave. I'm lost.
Sometimes the ghost tube shocks us. The program uses a magnetometer to look for fluctuations in magnetic fields, and the words within the built-in dictionary are assigned to certain readings, and the relevancy can be fascinating. In this case, right after we leave to begin our abandonment session, it says,
Don't leave.
and almost immediately after, it tells us,
I'm lost.
throughout the rest of the church, everything is completely silent for almost 50 minutes. And during that time, the ghost tube continues to periodically speak.
What do you want? William. How did I die? Devil.
But nothing could prepare us for what the ghost tube would say when we return. Around the 48-minute mark, though, the camera in the parsonage, also known as the Stone Goat Inn, started to capture what sounded like someone moving around upstairs.
Only 2 weeks ago, we had a gentleman that came here, and he called about midnight and said, I think I have to leave. And I said, well, what? He said, it's strange here. So I'm hearing things.
But then, everything fell silent until we returned.
Goodbye.
Okay. That's weird. It said goodbye.
Did it really?
Mm-hmm.
Don't come in.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Dave literally just walked into the crypt room and the ghost tube said, don't come in.
Dig.
Did. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Cellar.
Cellar.
Graveyard.
Graveyard.
Graveyard? You are kidding me. Are you here? Rolling on audio. We just got here and the ghost tube is saying some wild stuff. The story of the cemetery being here, the story of them excavating and moving these bodies before they built the church, but then missing some, and if they missed one, who knows how many more are down there.
5.
5.
Mm-hmm. There were 6 total that were unaccounted for. And that's 1.
Dig. Cellar.
Cellar.
Graveyard.
Graveyard.
Graveyard? You are kidding me. Are you here? Dude, this was nuts. Like I said, it said don't come in, and then we walked it. REM pod just blipped.
I see it.
But it said graveyard.
cellar.
And then it said cellar and then graveyard.
That's pretty solid communication. Right
Yeah.
there, I'd say.
Now, I did tap the table with my finger.
Yeah, but the REM pod isn't vibration sensitive like the Mal. Oops, I
Like,
forgot that was
the
there.
cat ball's not even going off when I do that.
Ryan.
Ryan.
It just said my name.
What?
Well, that's interesting.
It said Ryan. That is, I've never heard that say Ryan ever, and we've been experimenting with it for what, like a year now?
Close to it.
Wow. That's fairly impressive.
My-
Actually.
Is this your burial site?
Disagree.
Disagree.
Did you disagree with your burial site? Did you want to be buried somewhere else?
If you want to be buried somewhere else,
Reach up and touch that red light there.
Disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah. Wow.
that is so weird. He's
It's
saying that is disrespectful.
I've never heard it say that
It
either.
really is disrespectful
Yeah.
in a way.
If you'd like that to be filled back in, can you let us know?
These intelligent responses shocked us. At first, we thought we may be speaking to whoever was in the casket below the crypt room, but when Dave asked if it was, they responded,
Disagree.
could we be speaking to someone else that is still buried under the basement floor, since it is rumored that there are 5 more? Very soon, we'd get our answer.
So we were getting ready to head inside of the parsonage. Now this is an area that we actually felt the most energy
Yeah.
when we were setting up and tearing down from abandonment. So we had a lot of activity down there in the crypt room, but we're going to be going there later. Hopefully whoever's there will tell us how they feel about that open tomb inside that room.
I hope so.
But for now, let's see if we can contact the little girl that's said to be seen here in the parsonage. Or maybe that angry woman.
Let's do it. Let's head on into the parsonage. It's still creepy in here. It's like as soon as you walk through that doorway, it's just super creepy. Okay, so a comment that we receive quite frequently on the channel is when we're using the music box, some folks think that when we're pointing our cameras at it, that our IR lights are actually making it go off, when in fact that is not true. And I just wanted to prove that to you right now. So you can see very bright IR light. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to point it. It has no bearing on it whatsoever. Yeah, because actually the way that it works is it's actually picking up on different temperatures. So if you cross in front of it, whoa,
REM pod?
wait. Are you getting it? Yeah. I just happened to be pointing right at it.
Hello? Is that the little girl?
You can check the runtime since we started rolling.
Dude.
And this is the first it's going off. Do you like that thing? Can you try and scoot it across the table there? Can you try and push it? Would love to see you move that thing. We put it there for you. That's pretty awesome.
It's almost like we weren't giving any attention, so it had to take it back. Can you set off one of the other alarms? One of the other things that light up? If you get close to it and touch it, just like that one, it'll make sound, and the lights will turn on. Just like that. Thank you. What if we walk around this way? Will you set it off when we're not looking? Hello, where'd you go?
I do just want to... Was that your favorite place to sit right there?
You know, all of this stuff, if you really wanted to, you can knock it on the floor.
Are any of the parishioners here with us?
Whoa. Maybe that's who we were talking to all along.
Is that who we're talking to?
It just maxed out, man.
Dude.
Chills.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah. How about this? You can light up those, you can make those lights light up. You can make the lights turn on whenever you want to answer yes to one of our questions. And you may know more about this place than what we do, than what anybody does. Ooh.
What?
Just felt like there was something touching my lower back right here. Like very lightly tickling my lower back. That was weird.
That's creepy.
Were you, I was getting ready to ask, did you just touch me? Why would you why are you touching me? I mean, I don't care, you're allowed to, but I didn't give you permission yet.
EDI, right behind you.
Is it going off?
Mm-hmm. All three.
It's going nuts right now.
Yeah.
Are there still 6 people buried underneath of this? Are there still 6 people buried underneath of this property?
Wow.
Thank you. Are you one of those 6 people? So I'm going to ask again. We did change places. Dave moved over there and I'm over here now. So let me ask you again. Are you one of the 6 people that is still buried underneath of the church?
Dude.
Is that why the woman is so angry? The woman that people see upstairs? Is she angry because she's buried underneath of the church? Did you feel something?
No, I felt like I was about to fall backwards.
Yeah. It's like how Austin and I felt so Like our equilibrium was off in here.
Yeah.
Is the angry woman the woman whose final resting place was disturbed down in the basement?
Do you like what John is doing with this building? What?
It's silent now.
I feel like there's something standing behind me. I feel like there's something standing behind me.
If you think about that, a recipe for souls trapped or left behind, if their final resting place was built on top of any building, any structure, it's probably going to cause some unrest.
Yeah.
And if it is that angry woman and she's mad because her final resting place is no longer accessible due to the building, so again, the paranormal music box picks up on temperature signatures that are different than what the originally calibrated ambient temperature reading is. And if something passes in front of it, it starts to play the music. So we're hoping that it'll actually trigger and play music. It would be unexplained. This is the hallway where they say they see that spirit of the little girl running up and down from this bedroom right here. Now, unfortunately, that room is locked and we can't get into that room, but we'll point the music box at the door. See if maybe the little girl will come out in the hallway.
Yeah. Little girl, if you like music or music boxes or jewelry boxes or anything like that, sitting right there on the chair in the hallway is a music box for you. So if you'd like, you can come out and try and play with it.
If there's anyone up here, my name is Ryan and this is Dave. I'm sorry if we haven't introduced ourselves yet. We come with the utmost respect and we want you to understand that we don't mean you any harm. We're not here to antagonize you or make you perform for us. We're here to get answers. We're here to understand your story and hope to shed light on what happened to you. Downstairs on the mantle in the same room with the lights that you were turning on and making the sound box make noise, there's an orange light, and if you go over there and stand by the fireplace and speak, we might be able to hear your voice.
Did anybody follow us upstairs? Weird.
Very quiet. Second floor, nothing. Not a peep.
That was pretty incredible down there, though.
Yeah. And you know what's even more incredible is the fact that it hasn't, as far as we know, it hasn't gone off since.
No, I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard it either. All right, so we are getting ready to start a session inside the crypt room right here. Right over here around the corner, we have the thermal camera set up pointing down into the brewery where they have all the beer fermenting and brewing. And we have an action camera here getting both hallways. Austin was nice enough to let us use his direct link, which is a spirit box that was made by IDC Devices. And what this does is it allows for you to become the antenna to the spirit box. So you create the connection and hopefully create the connection between you and whoever you're trying to talk to. So this is the first time we've ever used this spirit box. It's one that I've been wanting to use for years. So let's head inside here. No better place to try it out than in the crypt room here.
That's right. I'm also going to set up the music box right here.
Okay. Perfect place for it. It's
Yeah.
going to be right in the line of vision of that action cam. All right, now, when we were in here earlier, someone was very intelligently communicating with us and talking to us.
Dig.
That's awesome.
Cellar.
Cellar.
Graveyard.
Graveyard.
Graveyard? You are kidding me. Are you here?
Through that box that was sitting here on the table. We didn't bring that back, but we want you to prove that you can speak to us using this box in my hand that I'm going to turn on here in just a second. And when I turn it on, you can use it, use my energy, speak through me to bring your voice through this box. Music box. I saw them. Are you coming into this room? Try and get as close to me as you can and use this box that's in my hand to tell me your name.
Dude, I have such a weird vibe.
You do?
Yes.
Who was speaking through that box earlier? Is that person buried in this crypt right below our feet? It almost did it again there.
What?
Music box.
It did.
Yeah. What's the name of the person whose casket is right down here? Who's buried right down here? Right below our feet.
I heard that.
Say help.
Mm-hmm.
How can we help you? Guilty? Whoa. Gee.
Austin?
Can you touch that one next? Who is calling out for help? How can we help you? Use my energy, get as close to me as you can, and try and speak through this box in my hand.
After 20 minutes in this room and barely receiving any intelligent responses, we asked Austin to join us to see if we could all work together to find more answers on those whose graves could still be lost below this church floor.
There's something about the end of the table here that has a very strong magnetic... Did you notice that?
Yeah.
But if you move it over here, oh, it still does. If you move it over here, it doesn't. If you move it over top of the grave, it...
I wonder if the
What
grave
date is
has-
it?
What date is it?
It's September 13th, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not the chains either, because look, I put it by the chain over here. Nothing. Every time it passes over top of this like grave area here.
Something up above, maybe?
Nope, went down.
That's odd. Dave.
It said Dave again.
Alright, I'm gonna lie down.
Leave.
Leave.
I heard leave.
I thought I heard please, maybe.
Oh, please. Could be.
You can review it.
Here we go. There it was again.
I think that one was leave.
You want us to leave?
That's a David.
All right, watch this. See this right here? See all those lights on that? If you would like for us to leave, try and do what I just did there.
Say no or go.
Either one of those. All right, I'm lying down. If there is one ever-loving spider down here.
Don't worry, they're all under the glass.
This is kind of surreal.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's laying over top of a early 1800s grave that was lost and now found.
Yeah. Come on.
As long as I said Adam.
Yeah, Adam is what I heard.
Can you come out and tell us your name, please?
It said Adam again.
And again.
Mm-hmm. Is your name Adam? I know a lot of people named Adam.
Whoa. I couldn't make that last one out. But...
Despite investigating this crypt room and the surrounding areas for almost 90 minutes, we didn't ever really achieve clear and definitive communication. That's both the most fascinating and frustrating part of paranormal research. 1 minute, you'll experience chilling paranormal activity.
Ryan.
It just said my name! Dude!
What?
And the next, everything will go quiet. But Dave and I want to do one last session in the sanctuary room to see if anyone will communicate through an Estes Method spirit box session. But even at this point in the night, one thing has been made abundantly clear. The haunting of Father John's is fueled by the lost souls who were left and forgotten beneath the basement floor of the church when it was built in 1895.
Dig.
That's awesome.
Cellar.
Cellar.
Graveyard.
Graveyard? You are kidding me.
So let me ask you again, are you one of the 6 people that is still buried underneath of the church?
If they have any final messages for us, hopefully they'll reach out and speak to us.
Ready?
I am ready.
Headphones are going on now.
All right. So I'm sitting out here in the pew, and Dave is sitting up there on the stage. He has a box in his hand that if you walk up to him and you speak, he might be able to hear your voice. And what he's going to do is yell out what he hears. So if you answer my questions, he'll tell me what you say. If you can hear my voice, my name is Ryan and that's Dave. What's your name?
I'm ready.
Ready for what?
Sounded like the F slur. Well, let me rephrase that. It sounded like the F word.
Who's
Hey or Dave?
That's Dave up there on the stage. He's here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to you.
What?
We just want to know your story and why people still see and hear strange things in this church. What makes the strange things happen?
There was a voice there, but I couldn't make it out.
Could you please repeat yourself so that Dave can hear you? Are you happy with what John has done to this church? Up here in the balcony, there is a nursery. Tell Dave where I'm going right now. If you don't want to talk to Dave, can you move something or knock on something? Or touch one of those lights that we have set up on either side of him? What if I walk back behind here? Am I supposed to be back there?
I'm hearing nothing.
I figured. You've been pretty quiet for about 10 minutes now.
Yeah. I'm not hearing anything or feeling anything. Is there anything happening?
No, not a thing has happened.
Wow.
I even walked up through the balcony, up through the nursery and everything, and not a thing happened.
Really?
Yeah. It was like we had a lot of activity there at the very beginning of the night. When we got back from abandonment there on the parsonage, it was just so active. And if we could, I would stay for hours longer and I'd go back to the parsonage, but unfortunately our time here has run out. What an amazing place though. It really is. Whether you're coming for a paranormal investigation or you're just coming here for dinner or for a tour, it's definitely worth checking out.
If you would like to come in and see the old church, you can actually schedule a tour with us, and we'd be happy to take you on a small private tour with the managers there or myself. And we actually are open Wednesday through Sundays. And I hate to say it, good religious people sometimes like to have a good glass of wine or beer, and we have that, the finest. So come, you're welcome.
You know, if you want to help support the channel, you already helped us out a good bit by watching this video all the way to the end, but if you'd like to support us more, hit that like button and share the video with your friends and family. That's all the support that we ask for or need, but if you'd like to support us additionally beyond that, you can join our Patreon page or become a member of our YouTube channel. And like we always say, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, because we are on a quest to find the most haunted places in the world, and we would love if you joined us. Come along for the ride. Until next time, guys, stay safe. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the next video.